Hey, good morning, everybody, and welcome to the final edition of Telling It Like It Is of 2018. My name is Jade Alberts. I am a small business strategist, influencer based out of Calgary, and my passion is helping small businesses grow and succeed. Sharing knowledge and stories is why I started the Telling Like It Is broadcast, a Facebook live show, and I just love, listening to all the entrepreneurs and small businesses share it. If you have any questions during the broadcast or after the fact when we're posting this on social media, please ask away. Today's guest, James, and I will respond to them. And then now getting to it, James is our guest James Trask from Skip the Depo. James, thank you for joining me, and how are you today?
Thanks for having me, Jade. I'm fantastic. How are you doing?
Oh, I'm doing excellent, and I'm so pumped to have you on. We've been competitors on the ball diamond for many moons here, so it's finally nice to collaborate on a project here.
Finally on the same team.
Yes, exactly. So I love the view behind you. Nice view of what is it? The North Calgary?
Yeah, this is kind of North Calgary, looking out of downtown. Yeah,
nice. And at least it's not blowing snow.
No, it's been gorgeous out here. That's for sure.
Exactly. I'll give a little introduction for James, and we'll get at it. James is a software and technology consultant and co-owner of Skip the Depo. Skip the Depo is disrupting the bottle industry with door-to-door bottle recycling app that allows customers to return their empties from the comfort of their home, all while getting paid online. So I know I love the word disrupting, and I know you have a very strong marketing and developing background. So where did you get the inspiration to start Skip the Depo?
So my business partner and I, Thomas Gaff, own a software development company as well. And we initially started this out as kind of a technology discovery project where we wanted to look at kind of what the latest and greatest technologies were for building software. And what ended up happening is once we selected our software stack, we needed a project to actually build out and test with. And so we've been around the bottle depot industry for 8 years or so now, building various kind of software projects for them. And we just saw an opportunity, especially with the way that society is going towards an on-demand kind of convenience-based system where we have tons of apps like Uber and Skip the Dishes and all of these other things that can get you what you want on demand. We were looking at that and going, why are we still taking our bottles back to the depot for a couple bucks, right? There's really nothing convenient about going back to the bottle depot. And so we said, all right, well, this should be a good test idea to go out and do some things. And we started asking around in terms of why no one had already done this. And the answers that we got back were all problems that we thought we could solve by using technology. So we thought this was a perfect fit for it. And once we ended up running it for a couple months, we got such positive feedback that we just ended up spinning it off into its own business. And here we are, a year and a bit later.
Oh, and that's amazing. I mean, disrupting this industry, I'm sure it's more difficult than we'll say, and we'll get into that. But I mean, I can tell you how many times I go to the bottle depot, I see a line up out the door, and then I just run to the thing where it says, charity or donations, and I just throw my cans in there because I don't want to stand there for 20, 25 minutes. So I think that's really cool. I've used the service. I can't believe how easy it was, how quick you guys got the money into my account. I haven't done anything with it yet. We'll probably donate it to charity, but it's so awesome. I just love it.
Yeah, that's perfect. And it's a good point too. A lot of people do like to donate to charity, and it's one of kind of the central pillars of our system is the charity arm of things. And we have over 50 charities and other organizations that you can donate to if you don't want to keep the money yourself. So instead of throwing your cans away into the blue bin and essentially giving that money back to the city of Calgary, you can take that out. And even if you don't want to keep it for yourself, you can donate it to a charity or, your nephew's hockey team or any other kind of organization that you're interested in.
And that's kind of one of the questions I wanted to ask you about the fundraising side of it. I mean, I know, in our area here, you'll have signs up and say, the Hawkwinder Citadel or team is going to come through collecting bottles or Girl Guides. Are you starting to work with some of those people to say, hey, it's going to be easier for you to do this, run it through us so you don't have to go out there?
Yeah, we work with several different hockey organizations, soccer organizations. We have dance studios. We have,
nice.
All of the very popular charities from downtown. So Cups, the Mustard Seed, Kids Cancer Care, Kids Sport. There's a wide variety, and I encourage everyone to go and check out our charity list in the app because it's pretty good. And there's a lot of different initiatives that probably resonate with you in some way or form.
Oh no, absolutely. And I mean, I honestly, if I have a full bottle, a full bag of bottles here, and some little girl or boy knocks on my door, they're getting them. It's just again, so I don't have to do it. So it's so much easier now. And that's good that you're working with that. So if anybody is out there, the Skip the Depo has an app. It's actually skipthedepo.com. You can actually look in the comment section underneath the Facebook Live here. Click on the link as well. So I really encourage you to check it out. So I guess some of the hurdles, what have they been in, starting up an app and marketing and getting the word out there? How are you overcoming them?
Yeah, well, it's a really good question, Jade. There's a ton of hurdles, and the way that we've kind of approached this problem is very slow and incremental. So we're essentially disrupting the industry, which means that there's no model out there for this business as it exists, right? So we started out by just driving around in one little area in Calgary. We marketed to essentially one postal code. And we started out by just going door to door and knocking on people's doors and saying, is this something you'd be interested in? And we got such overwhelming feedback, that we kind of continued down the path, right? And we just kind of made revisions, in and out going there. In terms of marketing and stuff like that, we haven't done a whole lot. We've done some radio ads and Facebook ads and things like that, but we're really looking to make a push next year in 2019. I'd say the biggest challenge that we've had operationally is people just forgetting, having our customers just forget to put their bags out, because and when you think about it, it makes sense, because when you're getting up in the morning, I'm a zombie, I'm half asleep anyway, and the last thing I'm thinking about is putting my recyclables out. So what we ended up doing is creating a reminder text message at the night before at 6:00, and we found that helped a lot, but still wasn't very helpful in terms of having the success rate that we wanted. Yeah. So people would they would prepare their bags, but they wouldn't put them outside. And so we ended up creating another text message at 7 a.m. the next day. So we had a reminder email or text message the night before that says, hey, get your bags ready. And then at 7 a.m. we text you again to say, hey, put them out, because a lot of people forget. And it's understandable with the busy lives that people lead and trying to get the kids ready for school or whatever it is, right? So, yeah.
No, and that I can see. I mean, and I appreciated that, because again, I left my bag in the garage, and I actually I put a calendar reminder in my Google, and it popped up at 6 a.m. to go grab it, throw it out there, and then I'm sitting there going, no, maybe someone's gonna swipe my bag. I always thought it's like, oh, all right. I got a nice little email saying you guys picked up the bag, and I think later on that day it was saying it's processed and the money will be in there, and it was quick like that. I was thoroughly impressed with how efficient the app run and how everything went. So it was kudos to you guys for running a smooth operation.
That's good to hear. I appreciate that feedback.
I guess now, when we're talking about marketing, and I always focus on networking and how hard it is for entrepreneurs, solopreneurs, small businesses to get out there and network. Has your network helped you in any ways? Did you reach out to anybody for help? How did you use your network in setting up Skip the Depo?
Yeah, so we have a bunch of relationships in this industry already, and so we reached out to them and kind of got their thoughts on it, and especially in terms of what the challenges were. So we know a couple depot owners, and we're like, hey, why doesn't anybody do this? And they gave us kind of their reasons and stuff like that, and we said, well, we think we can solve that with software. In terms of like small business strategy and stuff like that, we've talked to some other entrepreneurs within the Calgary area, and they've been very helpful as well. And I think that kind of stuff's really important and shouldn't be understated. Just in terms of talking to other people, getting their perspective, listening to see what their challenges were starting their businesses, and seeing if there's any overlap. But also just in terms of if you really do have a good idea, hearing somebody else say, you guys are doing good, keep going, like that value, just in terms of your optimism and stuff like that is not to be understated. It's really important.
Oh, absolutely. And
why I like talking to you, because you always pump my tires every time I talk to
you. Except when you're batting, I'm chirping you.
Yeah. That pumps my tires in a different way though.
Yeah, exactly.
Because I knew if I wasn't any good, you wouldn't be chirping me.
Yeah, exactly. Oh no, that is so. And I mean, I preach about talking about it, and one of the key words you said in there, actually, listening to the fellow entrepreneurs and getting their feedback. It's so important because you don't need to recreate the wheel. And if somebody, struggled at some point, creating an app or doing something, and you can avoid that trouble, it's so important. I mean, you can't stress that enough.
No, there's definitely been some aha moments as well, right? Where you're like, someone says something, you're like, we should definitely do that. That's really good insight, and people just approach problems from different angles. And so if you're a small business starting up, I encourage to talk to as many other entrepreneurs as possible. And because they'll give you that kind of different perspective than things maybe you hadn't talked about.
No, absolutely. And as I say, an idea is a starting point, and you never know where the next great suggestion is going to come from.
No, it's definitely true. Yeah.
So I guess what's next for Skip the Depo? Fill us in on your, sure, I guess, short-term and long-term goals.
Sure. So short-term, we are looking at expanding to Edmonton early next year. Nice. We've also got some app upgrades and some neat little features that our customers are going to like. We're starting to issue biodegradable bags for our customers, so we'll be handing them out when we pick up your containers. And these bags are not only biodegradable, which is an awesome bonus for this system and the environment, but also they're going to help us become more efficient because there's not an area to write your own personal customer ID on it, which is going to help us identify your bags. It's going to make everything go a lot smoother, and they're pretty cool things to use. Yeah.
Oh, and I guess, I mean, you're already hopefully stopping a lot of people from, individually driving to the bottle depot by picking them up. So you're saving some carbon footprint there, and a biodegradable bag by taking these bags and just throwing the plastic into a dumpster. So that's a very good thing when it comes to the environment. Yeah,
plastic's the number one waste product of a bottle depot, which is kind of counterintuitive since the entire point of the system is to recycle. So it's we're really happy and really excited for these bags, and we hope our customers are too. We think they are.
Well, and for you guys to be supplying them, I think that's just a great customer service, because I don't think anybody would. I might have the best intentions to go out there and buy a biodegradable bag. If you actually recommended it and said, go to Canadian Tire and pick it up, chances are I probably wouldn't. So I think that's a great idea.
Well, that's been our focus from day one. We've kind of had, our main guiding principle has been make it easy for the customer. Like, this has to be the easiest possible solution out there. And that's what we've tried to do. So this is just another part of that.
Well, that's awesome. So my final question that I always ask my fellow entrepreneurs, and I know you've guys got another technology business called Less Than Three, and it's awesome. So what would be an advice for a small business, for an entrepreneur, for a solopreneur just starting off and just getting going?
I got to narrow it down to one thing.
Well, you can maybe throw in a couple if you like.
No, and it's something that I've definitely thought about in more recent years, which is you need to stay humble as a person, and I say that for a couple of reasons. Number one, people will want to work with you more if you come from a place of humility and openness, and not pretending like you know everything and things like that, and be willing to listen. And the second reason is that you're going to make mistakes. You're going to make a lot of mistakes, and it's much easier to apologize from a place of humility than a place of I know everything and how it all works, and that kind of angle, right? So people are definitely more receptive to people making mistakes when that they always have the best intentions out there.
Being honest, being yourself, and being authentic are three key opponents to being an entrepreneur or a small business. And I even have that on my business card whenever I do hand one out nowadays. It is something that, being humble, and I love that. And I don't think one person in over the years that I've done this now has actually said that. So that is such a great point, and especially around Christmas time, be humble rather than being a humbug. So that's
I like that. That's a great slogan.
Yeah, exactly. Well, I really appreciate you coming on, James, and I truly believe Skip the Depo is disrupting the bottle industry, and I encourage anybody to use it. I have personally used it. I loved it. I will be using it again. The link is below. If you have any questions, once we start posting this on our social media platforms, please reach out. We will answer them. James, again, thank you so much for coming on, sharing your stories, and sharing your knowledge with the people that are watching this.
Right on. Appreciate it, Jade. Thanks a lot. Merry Christmas.
Yes, Merry Christmas to you, and Merry Christmas to everybody else. Please enjoy the holidays. Have a safe holidays. And this is the last one of 2018, so we will see you in 2019. The second week of January will be our first one, and we're kicking it off with a best-selling author, Doyle Buehler, and he is going to be unbelievable. He's based out of Australia, but he will help you with a lot of your digital strategies. So thanks again, James. Merry Christmas to everybody, and have a great day. Bye-bye.